Hello, kiddies. It's your old pal, the Crypt Keeper. And you're listening to Three Guys in a Flick. The good, the bad, and the gruesomely absurd.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Wolfman's got nards?
Three guys and a flick with Don, Ken, and John. Dive into the movies well after the dawn. From the good to the bad to the wildly absurd. They give a fuck about films. Their voices are heard.
Welcome back. You are listening to Three Guys in a Flick. This is where we review the good, the bad, and the absurd. Tonight's episode, The Monster Squad. Beware spoilers. Coming to you from the Monster Squad treehouse, my name is Don. And to my right, we have the comic book guy, John.
Heidi-ho.
And to my left, we have the professor, Ken.
Bitte, morden Sie uns nicht?
Hey, Ken, put those binoculars down and get over here. It's a Monster Squad meeting.
But can you take a couple pictures before you come over?
Whoa, guy. Tonight we are talking about the Monster Squad. The Monster Squad comes to us via the Broncos helmet and was submitted by Brett P. So thanks, Brett, for throwing that in there. This one's for you. Released on August 14th, 1987, The Monster Squad was directed by Fred Dekker. Screenplay by Shane Black and Fred Dekker. And it stars Andre Gower, Robbie Kiger, Brent Shellum, Duncan Reiger, Ryan Lambert, Stephen Mach, Ashley Bank, Michael Faustino, Stan Shaw, Tom Newman, Leonardo Camino, and a bunch of other monsters.
How'd this movie do, Don?
This movie was made for $14 million and brought in $4 million.
Cha-ching.
So a little bit of a box office disappointment.
Well, I can tell you one of the reasons right now. Who the fuck are these people?
Yeah, most of them had done TV, were actually big in TV before this came out. And this kind of was their big movie shot. But you know what really sunk this movie is what movie came out 2 weeks before this movie.
1987, Lethal Weapon. No, that was March.
No, but the writer for this was actually the writer of Lethal Weapon.
I know, Shane Black.
No, the movie that came out 2 weeks before this, Lost Boys.
Oh, okay.
So it was competing with that. Plus, it was a movie that was kind of focused towards kids, but it got a PG-13 rating, so kids couldn't go see it, younger kids under 13, and then older kids over 13 weren't really interested in this movie.
Well, I'll tell you right now, any kid under 13 should not have seen this.
You don't think so?
Oh my God, dude. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
We'll get into it.
So Fred Dekker, the director of this, he had written a movie and then got his first directorial opportunity with Night of the Creeps. Did you ever see that movie?
I did see Night of the Creeps, actually.
Yeah, and so I remember liking that movie. I don't think it wasn't a box office success, but it was a okay movie for a blockbuster rental.
Oh, yeah. I think that's where I saw it, or HBO. I mean, I did grow up with two older brothers, so I got to see a lot of those B horror movies. Mm-hmm. So that's probably where my love of horror kind of comes from as well. As John mentioned before, this is written by Shane Black and Fred Dekker. But we know Shane Black primarily for, I know him primarily for writing Lethal Weapon and then also being in Predator. And then anything after that, I equate back to, Lethal Weapon and Predator.
What's crazy is Lethal Weapon came out right before this movie too, and it hadn't been really the huge box office success it went on to become. So if they had waited maybe like a year for this movie to come out, they could have probably ridden the success of Lethal Weapon. Saying from the writer of Lethal Weapon.
Maybe, but they didn't.
It's a chess game when you're putting your all your ducks in a row on how you want to release them.
Sure. And then he goes on and actually directs a lot of things. He directed Iron Man 3. Do you know that?
Mm-mm.
that's why it kind of has a Christmassy feel. I've noticed that the films he does direct are very Christmas time, and Lethal Weapon was wrote at Christmas time, right? Another one is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with Kilmer and RDJ. Yeah, he directed that one as well. Is there anything else you guys want to say about Black or Dekker? Black and Dekker?
Yeah, I got it.
All right. Well, thanks, bud. No. Let's talk about this cast a little bit. Andre Gower. I'm going to call him the discount Mikey from the Goonies.
For some reason, I always thought he was that kid from Sequest or whatever. You know who I'm talking about?
Oh, you're way wrong decade there, guy.
I know, but I always thought
Jonathan Brandis is
Yes.
who you're thinking of.
I always thought when I remembered
Rest
back
in
to this
peace.
movie, I thought he was in this movie, but no, it was this other kid who had done a bunch of TV.
I always thought it was that kid, Mackenzie Austin. He was in a bunch of TV
Was he in
shows.
Facts and Life?
Yes, he was
At one point?
He was in the Facts of Life. Do you know who I'm talking about by chance?
Nope.
And so I always thought it was him. And when I watched this movie, which it might actually be for my first time, I'm like, that's not the kid.
I thought the kids did an okay job acting in this movie. Like I said, most of them were unknowns at the time, had only done TV. The only one I really recognized of all the kids was Rudy, who was played by Ryan Lambert. And it was because I was a huge fan as a kid of the show Kids Incorporated.
Oh, really? I did not know him from anything. He reminded me of the guy who was in TJ Hooker.
Mm-hmm.
Listeners, if that makes any sense to you,
Yeah.
I would be impressed.
The young sidekick.
Yes, you got it. He looked like a very younger version of him. He actually looks like he should have been in Grease, but we'll get to that later. But what did you guys think of the main kid?
I thought he was okay. I thought he did a good job.
Passable.
Passable?
Well,
Yeah. I thought the writing was atrocious, so it didn't help anything.
No, there were so many holes in this film, and I think they made too many cuts that the movie just didn't make sense in places.
Sure, I would go on with that.
Even Ryan Lambert, because of such the poor showing of this and just how choppy it was, he didn't even want to tell people he was in this movie until like decades later.
What did you think of him as Rudy?
I thought he did okay. It was weird to have a greaser kid kind of all of a sudden in this movie.
Yeah, what about you?
He was, I don't know, the character felt a little fish out of water because here he is being a tough guy, and yet he's willing to instantly say, yeah, I'll hang out with the nerds.
And yeah, any junior high schooler that's smoking and drinking beer, I mean, red flag somewhere.
Now, did you guys, either of you watch the documentary Wolfman's Got Nards?
No.
I actually watched it. It's free on Tubi if anybody's interested. It's a really interesting watch. And what Dekker and Black were going for in this movie was trying to create a Little Rascals meets the Universal Monsters. And he kind of based it on the idea of Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein, where you have the kids as the comedy and the monsters as the straight men.
Well, it certainly came across like that. I thought of it as this is like a Goosebumps movie.
Yeah, a little bit. I thought it was a valiant attempt at bringing in like the classic monsters and kind of having a Monster Hunter type-esque film. But it just fell flat for me.
Because the writing just wasn't there.
Oh my gosh, it was, yeah.
I would say the best part of this movie for me was the designs of the monsters and the kind of the monster effects. I thought they were really well done by Stan Winston's group.
I thought I expected more from Stan Winston. How about that?
Well,
he gave us the fucking xenomorph.
Yeah. Well,
right?
do you know?
And nothing on this screamed awesome.
Do you know why they didn't look exactly like the Universal monsters?
It's not about them looking exactly like the Universal monsters, and the answer is yes, they didn't have the rights for them.
Yep.
But it was more about making them believable.
Yeah.
It just looked prosthetic-y and fake to me. I've seen it done better, I guess I should say. So that's all I'm saying.
I would say that maybe you're right on that, but of all the movies that have tried to bring back the Universal monsters, I thought this one blended them in probably one of the best. I mean, look at Tom Cruise, The Mummy, how that one didn't work out.
Yeah, well, again, you're talking about story, right? The story of bringing in the Universal monsters, and I agree with you because we haven't seen that. We hadn't seen that and that's why they were trying to bring it back. And now they tried to bring it back again. It didn't work because you're right. That Tom Cruise thing I heard was atrocious. So this movie does do a good job at bringing the Universal monsters into a fun adventure type movie.
Yeah,
So,
which really, to me, if I had to compare this to any other movie, it felt very Goonies meets the Ghostbusters in that you got a group of kids who are kind of the comic relief, kind of the funny kids with the one-liners, who are now, instead of hunting ghosts, they're hunting monsters. And even with the publicity, they basically, like for the publicity of this movie, they said, you know who you're going to call for your ghosts, but who are you going to call for monsters?
I think this was very much a discount Goonies, but you know, what are you gonna do?
Looking at the cast, there was one person that connects back to Goonies. The mom in this movie, who was Mary Ellen Trainor, was also the mom in Goonies.
Yeah. And she was also in Lethal Weapon.
Any other cast members stand out to either of you?
Nope.
Do you know who auditioned for Dracula?
Yes, Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson, and he actually got out-acted by the guy who got the role.
I know. I read that, and I'm like, maybe Liam Neeson dodged a bullet. I mean, well, I shouldn't say that because millions upon millions of people love this film, and, you know, good for you. I'll say that. Good for you.
You know what kind of brought this movie back? What kind of gave it its cult following?
What's that?
This movie ended up on HBO and got replayed so many times that people were finally seeing it. And then that created this buzz for this movie, and people were going out and started renting it at Blockbuster and trying to find any version of this movie they could find.
Oh.
And that's what I guess they claim created this cult following.
Oh, well. Excellent. So this week, do we have any monstrous trivia?
I do happen to have some questions that are trivial. And if you gentlemen are up for it, I will submit my questions to you to see which one of you is more attuned to the finer points of this movie.
I can't fucking wait.
But Wolfman does have nards.
Okay. If you say so.
Okay.
And you know why he knows? Because he gave him a little tickle.
Of course he did. He said, come here, Wolfie.
Little pinch and tickle.
Ow, pinch and tickle? You're mean, yo.
All right. My questions are a little wordy, so try not to jump the gun.
That's such a nice way of saying that.
At the police station, when the crazed guy says he's a werewolf, he gets an officer's gun, fires it in the air, and yells, "Lock me up!" The officers shoot him instead. How many shots did the officer fire?
Don, 2.
Not correct.
3.
3 is the correct answer. Question number 2. When Sean asks them in the clubhouse if they are a monster squad or not, Sean votes first. Who is last?
John. Rudy.
No.
Horace.
No.
Eugene.
Mouth?
No. No. It's the dog.
Oh, that's the dog puts his paw on.
The dog puts his paw on top of all of the other hands.
Oh. I guess maybe I wasn't listening to the question.
You just tuned out on this movie, didn't you?
No, not tuned out. I did have to watch it twice.
Question number 3. What did the scary German guy give to Sean, Patrick, and Horace to enjoy while he translated the diary?
Don.
Ooh, tie. John.
Pie.
Not correct.
He's going to argue it. Cherry pie.
Not correct.
Oh, fuck off. What was it?
It was pie and Pepsi.
Oh,
You should get a half point.
No, it's okay. I remember him distinctly saying cherry pie. I don't remember the Pepsi part, but then again.
The Pepsi can is on the table, and then you see all the glasses on the table.
I just remember him saying, last chance
with the
for
knife.
pie.
Yeah.
Question number 4. Rudy and Patrick are waiting to hear from the rest of the gang at a fast food joint named Phil's. Their sign shows 4 things that they sell. Hamburgers, fries. Name at least one of the other 2.
John. Milkshakes?
No.
Hot dogs.
No.
Total guess.
Malt fried shrimp.
Malt fried shrimp?
So
Malts.
from left to right, it reads fried shrimp, malt, hamburgers, fries.
Oh, okay. Malt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like malt shakes.
Yep.
Yep. Gotcha.
Question number 5. When Sean is watching the drive-in from his roof, Dad shows up with some fast food. What fast food restaurant is it?
Don. It's Burger King, baby.
Point to Don.
That's what I was going to say.
I was thinking, how fucking cool would that be? Sitting up on the roof, tuning into the station so you could hear, watching the movie, and then your pop shows up with Burger King. Fuck yeah. Sign me up for that ride.
That was a cool setup.
Yeah, I like that.
I will grant you that.
Yeah.
Tie-breaking question, gentlemen. Patrick's sister isn't a virgin after all when Limbo doesn't appear. Who does she say, who doesn't count?
Don.
Don?
Steven.
Point to Don. So this week's winner is Don.
By the skin of my teeth. A group of monster-obsessed kids, Sean, Patrick, Rudy, Horace, and Eugene, form the Monster Squad. Bonding over their love of classic horror films, Sean's younger sister Phoebe desperately wants to join, but is mostly brushed aside. Things get real when Sean receives the diary of legendary monster hunter Abram Van Helsing, written entirely in German. With help from the mysterious but kind, scary German guy, they learn about a powerful amulet made of concentrated good. Once every 100 years, at the stroke of midnight, the amulet becomes vulnerable and can be used to open a portal to Limbo to trap evil forever. Meanwhile, Count Dracula arrives in town with the plan to take over the world. He assembles a crew of classic monsters, the Wolfman, the Mummy, the Gillman, and a trio of vampire brides, and retrieves Frankenstein's monster to complete his army. But things don't go as planned. Frankenstein's monster wanders off and meets Phoebe, who treats him with kindness. The two form a genuine relationship, setting the stage for a major shift in the battle to come.
So this movie actually opens up with a flashback, basically, to, was it, I don't remember what year it was.
It was a scroll.
Yeah. Talking about how Van Helsing had this army who was going to attack and stop Dracula once for all, but they blew it. But I guess the way that it was originally written by Black was he wanted to have Van Helsing come in with an army, a bunch of Zeppelins. He was going to be shooting a machine gun from the Zeppelins, and there was going to be 40 of the Dracula's brides all on horses coming out to meet them. And it was going to be this huge epic battle scene. And then he learned it would cost around $100 million to actually film this scene. So that's why we got what we got.
Well, thank you, sir. I feel so much better. What'd you guys think of this opening?
It was all right. It was confusing because, once we see the portal opening up, you're like, okay, I guess it'll be revealed later. And it was, but still, yeah, it was cryptic.
Well, there was a few issues right off from the start. I mean, maybe I didn't catch these when I was a kid just because, I think when I first saw it, it was like I was 15. A rental from Blockbuster. So I really didn't pay attention to the plot inconsistencies and all the holes in this movie. But first of all, they get into the castle and they open up this portal. There are no monsters around. So what's the point of opening up the portal to suck in the monsters when Dracula, Frankenstein, none of them are there? The second thing is we see two people get sucked in. One of them not being Van Helsing himself. You never see him get sucked into the portal, yet later on in the end of the movie, he comes out of the portal. So it's just a bunch of weird things that kind of happen right from the start, kind of setting the tone.
Yeah, and I get what they're trying to do, and it's a valiant effort, I suppose. But I know it's 1987, and the effects aren't quite there yet. But there are other films out there that use VFX better, and so the effects in this one really, really shake me. So, but as far as the narrative, I mean, we have to set up the plot line and the MacGuffin, if you will, and it's this amulet, and so now this amulet is introduced to the story, and we know that the amulet is what we are going to be centered around.
I will give them credit, though. It had the tone and the feel of an old Universal Monsters type style movie. Kind of the coloring and the effects.
I mean, I suppose. It's obviously been a minute since I've seen one of those Universal Monster movies. Probably should go back and take a look. And so we are now transported.
It's present day.
And we get to meet Sean and his homie.
Yeah, and the boys are being given a talking to by, I don't know if he's like the principal or guidance counselor or whatever.
He's the authority figure in this scene, right?
And he wasn't all that hardcore.
No. And this kind of starts the bad writing motif. Because, I mean, I feel like a lot of these scenes are way overacted.
But science is cool, too.
Yeah, so... but we get to meet our protagonists and two of the members of said Monster Squad.
We also get to see, right after that, I think, Horace getting bullied.
Yep, he's being picked on by EJ.
By the kid from the Wonder Years.
And right away, we learn that his nickname is the Fat Kid.
Yeah, and he gets called a couple of homophobic slurs in the meantime.
Yeah, this movie, had a few issues that probably wouldn't hold up today.
Different era.
But doesn't make it right.
No.
Yeah,
so,
but then right there, we get also introduced to Rudy.
Rudy shows up.
Stands up for him. His friend, Horace.
Yeah, I love how he lights the match with his shoe, and he lights a cigarette on school property, and he's junior high.
But he's so badass on that BMX bike or whatever he's on.
With a black leather jacket. It's like, okay, so this is a mini version of supposed to be a motorcycle.
Well, oh, sure. There you go. Yeah, like he's a total greaser.
Well, the thing that cracks me up is he's badass with his hair greased back kind of or whatever and his black leather jacket, but he's wearing penny loafers. Did that seem out of place to you?
No, that's what they wore.
Badass penny loafers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
I was expecting to have like leather boots or something.
No.
Like Fonzie boots.
No, penny loafers were a thing at one point. And he, sticks up for Horace.
He exudes his authority by just subtly telling EJ to pick up the candy bar and eat it.
Yeah.
And EJ's like, no. And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, he's got to get his comeuppance.
And so, all right. So Rudy is a major force.
Yes. People don't want to fuck with him.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happens he's on the side of our protagonists.
I kind of got the feeling that he was a little bit like the River Phoenix kid in Stand By Me.
Yeah.
That he's kind of the misjudged kid. Everyone thinks he's this badass, but he really just wants friends.
Maybe, yeah. I could see that angle, actually.
Yeah, maybe.
But I am curious as to, all right, so maybe he's about injustice and not necessarily about Horace. But, when we see them after school, okay, he's with Horace, and Horace is trying to talk to the guys. We should let Rudy in. So why is Rudy giving the time of day to these guys?
Part of me thought, and it's not until, a little bit later after that Rudy just liked being in the treehouse because he could look through the binoculars at the girl.
But he didn't know that going into it.
You don't think so?
No, not at all.
Figured something out because he was the whole time he was sitting up in that corner every scene.
Which I thought of you every single time. But no, I think he didn't have any friends, and these kids accepted him for who he was, and he just so happened to be able to protect them.
I guess.
Yeah, and then
it was not clearly. It wasn't emphasized effectively in the story.
No, they assumed we would accept them just being friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mm-hmm. So they decide to give him the monster test.
But before that, Phoebe comes zooming up, and the guys are like, get away. And they end up stopping in front of the scary old man's, the scary German guy's house.
Oh, right. And this is going to come back at some point.
Absolutely.
When I was watching this last night, at first I thought, oh, he must be a Van Helsing relative.
I thought so too. I thought that's how they were going to connect it up, that he was going to have the journal or whatever.
Or something. I didn't expect it. I didn't see him becoming a good guy. I thought he might have been a antagonist at first as well.
So suddenly we cut to an airplane, this World War II bomber, and these two pilots are jabbering with each other. Okay.
Yeah, we're giving no rhyme or reason why this is happening, but they are transporting 2 coffins, I guess.
Miscellaneous cargo, but
coffins and then the box that Frankenstein's monster's in.
And we get the...
there's a big thud in the back.
And of course, you got to go
check it out.
Check it
Because he
out.
doesn't make the comment, I thought everything was dead back there.
Yeah. And it turns out that Dracula's there, knocks the dude around a little bit. I don't know why he just didn't kill him. But the dude happens to open up the
Bombay doors.
And Frankenstein's box falls out. And I like how the one effect I did think was cool. As soon as the bottom fell out, Dracula was just kind of floating.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of a neat effect. But that's about it.
And then he turns into a bat and flies away.
Yes.
Now we're at the clubhouse.
And at the clubhouse, they are going to give Rudy the monster test.
And he's showing he knows some stuff. I mean, he knows how vampires are killed, and he knows the one way to kill Wolfman. They're like, no, there are 2 ways.
But they can't
come up with the second one.
Yeah, they couldn't come up with the second one.
They kind of foreshadow of him blowing him up, but...
And then for whatever reason, Sean, he's called into dinner, and Mom says, get ready for dinner. And by the way, here's a book for you. Thought you'd like it.
She just happens to find Van Helsing's journal at a garage sale.
Yep.
Yes.
Again, plot convenience, or...
I suppose, but I mean, the story has to move forward, right?
The journal was supposedly found at the same house where they eventually find the amulet as well. But someone was clearing it out and found the journal or something.
Well, I call that good timing then.
Yeah.
And then we also are introduced to Sean's dad,
right,
who is a cop.
And is having marital problems.
And they are having marital problems. And did you guys notice how much they smoke in this movie?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. He smokes right in front of the kid in the bedroom.
I know.
You loved it.
Totally. Did you notice the name of the slasher movie that Sean wanted to go see?
Groundhog's Day 12.
12, yeah. But
right.
But I thought Groundhog's Day, right?
Yeah, so did I. But 12? It's like,
well, I love
but this movie comes out 7 years before Groundhog's Day. So, yeah.
I did find it kind of funny. They make fun of slasher movies of, they always come back in this movie. Wasn't the last one wasn't there one where he got his head blended and thrown into something? And he's like, oh, yeah, that was the last one.
Yeah.
That was number 7 or something.
Yep.
So Dad gets called in. I gotta go. And Mom is pissed.
This is because they got a guy ranting about being a Wolfman at the precinct. And then we also find out, I guess, a mummy has gone missing.
Shortly after. But yeah, so you get this guy. He's fighting all the police at the station. He's like, lock me up. I'm a werewolf. I don't understand why he's fighting so hard. They want to lock him up.
Is that what they're doing?
He's yelling.
I know, and I took it as them just kind of controlling him, and I was thinking, just hit one of the cops. They have to lock you up. Push one of the cops. They'd have to lock you up, right?
Yeah.
But he does eventually start swinging, and then he gets shot.
Well, he grabs the gun and shoots the gun up and
in the air.
Yeah.
And that's where they
lock me up.
They shoot him a few times, and
So here I am. I'm a police officer. I've got my gun bearing down on somebody that has stolen one of my fellow officers' guns. And he fired. I watch him fire the gun up in the air, and he yells, "Lock me up!" And my decision at that moment is, I'm going to shoot him 3 times.
Well, yes, because your life is in danger. What if the bullet ricocheted off the light fixture and came out and hit you in the eye?
My thought is there are people up on the 2nd floor, and he's shooting through the floor.
That's assuming this is a double-floored precinct, which it might be. So,
anyway, just really flimsy.
Pretty thin.
Razor thin. And so now we cut to Detective Sapir, and he's interrogating a security guard on scene as to the whereabouts of a mummy that has gone missing.
Well, mummies just don't get up and walk away.
You know,
this writing, I love it.
Well, that was purposely put in because that's a gag also from Night of the Creeps, that they use almost that exact same line. And in both movies, dead guys get up and walk away.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, go with what you know.
How did he get into the kid's closet? That's what I couldn't figure out.
Is this the next scene?
Well, the first right here. So it's we see the mummy walking outside, and then we cut to a corpse that is being transported. It's the guy that got shot by the police officer.
Oh, that's right. It's the Wolfman.
Which, did you recognize that actor?
No.
Yeah, that's Laszlo from Real Genius, and he was also
that's
in
the driver.
He's Uncle Rico
In Napoleon
in
Dynamite.
in Napoleon Dynamite, yeah.
So, what did you think of this moment where you have the guy's dead? He's been shot dead, but still he can transform.
Well, he wasn't shot by silver bullets, so he comes back every time.
And I'm going to agree with him on that because you have to have a silver bullet to kill a werewolf. What I found kind of problematic with this scene was the effects looked pretty good to start with, but as soon as he transformed, he looked like a action figure. He didn't look like he didn't really look like a werewolf to me. His face actually looked like plastic, like an action figure. And so I was like, oh, come on, Stan, what are you doing?
I didn't think he was that bad looking because, like I said, they couldn't make it look like the original Wolfman from, Universal. So I thought it looked like a good cross between a wolf and a person.
See, and when he attacks the driver, I'm thinking we should be seeing some blood here. Nope, no blood.
Well,
what type of a werewolf are you?
This movie really picks and chooses its blood moments for sure, because later on we do get blood. But yeah, you're right.
Next scene, it's Sean sitting on the roof of his house and he's watching the movie at the drive-in down the way.
Yeah, because he wanted to originally go to the movie so that his friends didn't spoil the movie, where we had that problem before. So he wanted to go, but he had to stay home and babysit his sister because supposedly his parents were going to go out on a date.
You say that like we are the spoilers. Listeners, that couldn't be any further from the truth. Professor, who loves to spoil shit?
John.
And Professor, even when we say, hey, don't spoil shit, who spoils shit?
John.
Okay, just wanted to get that out
It's
there.
not my fault you guys take too long to watch shit.
No.
I need to talk about this stuff.
No. Then get on the chat rooms. Talk to AI.
You don't think I'm already there?
AI is your buddy. So talk to AI. They'll tell you everything you want to hear. And so after the drive-in moment, which I think all three of us had said it was a pretty cool moment. We like that moment in the film.
The monsters, they unite and they all come together.
And they retrieve Frankenstein, right?
Yep.
And so you have the Gill Man, who couldn't be called the Creature of the Black Lagoon. You have the Wolfman, Dracula, the Mummy, and now they're going to resurrect
Frankenstein's monster.
I know you guys, or I know, Don, you specifically said that you didn't care much for the actual monster looks, but I thought they did a pretty good job with the Gill Man.
Yeah, he looked like a guy in a suit, actually.
The way that they made that suit, it was all one piece.
Yeah.
And the actor inside of it, who was actually one of the designers of the costume, couldn't see at all out of it. So he kept missing his cues and hitting stunt people and everything. But I remember in the documentary, it was actually kind of a fun thing to listen to, is when they finished the suit, the first scene they wanted to film was, we're going to put him in the water. And they were all thinking, it's not going to work in the water. It's going to fall apart. And they were all just so thrilled when it didn't fall apart.
Yeah. There you go.
I thought Frankenstein looked pretty good.
He looked fine.
They had to do the bolts in the head and couldn't do the bolts in the neck because that would have been too close to Universal.
Right. And so Dracula has the jumper cables.
Where did Dracula get the car from?
Well, first of all, why does Dracula need a car?
To transport his coffin.
He's not strong enough to carry it?
I guess not.
Fuck off.
Dracula, he's always had assistants, though.
He's had Renfield,
Yeah.
right? So But they probably couldn't bring in Renfield because it was too close to Universal, probably licensing rights. So they electrocute Frankenstein's monster, bring him back to life, and then we cut to
little Phoebe, and she's scared. And Mother, she has a candle for her. And Mother lights the candle, and you'll be safe as long as the candle is lit. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? A lit candle right next to her daughter's bed. All right, good night. Don't burn the house down.
and she's like 5, right?
Is this also where we get, I think it was Eugene and the mummy in the closet?
Not yet. Where we go to after this is Sean, he's listening to his mom and dad argue about, their marital strife that they're going through.
Right.
Yeah, he's spending too much time being a police officer.
And then we see a message on the whiteboard about Mr. Ockard wants to have a conversation about the diary. Mr. Ockard?
Occardo, I think, something like that.
Mr. Ockard. And so this perplexes Sean, and he decides he's going to start, wordsmithing a little bit the name. For whatever reason, he has the epiphany. What could this turn into? And eventually he lands with Dracula.
Well, he had kind of been put on this path because he had overheard his father talking to the police station about a werewolf, a guy claiming to be a werewolf, and he had heard about the mummy escaping from the museum or disappearing from the museum. So already he's got monsters on the mind.
Right, because it's 2 in one night, too much of a coincidence, and this Dr. Ockard is Dracula? Oh. So, yeah, he has this epiphany that this has got to all be related together. And then we cut to little Eugene, and he says to his dad, there's a monster in the closet.
So Dad comes in all cavalier, talking shit.
All right, get out of here.
Yeah, because he knows there's no monster, right? I love how he checks the closet, but he doesn't check the closet. What kind of dad does that?
Oh, I saw it coming a mile away. Of course there's going to be a monster in the closet. I'm curious to see how this plays out. Oh, Dad, you are awesome. There you are, berating your kid, not even looking in the closet.
You got the impression that he had done this multiple nights and had dealt with this before with the kid.
Because if you keep fucking around, I'm not going to let you look at those monster magazines right now because you're not sleeping with me and your mom because we got plans. But I got to ask this question. Dad looked like he was ready for bed, right? Was it bedtime?
I don't know.
It looked like it was nighttime.
Because
then how the fuck is he in the treehouse the very next scene?
I am so on board with that because I thought the exact same thing. Wait a minute. I thought it was nighttime and why is everybody together after this?
It's not the next day?
But it's the same night.
But before we get to that, I want to get to how is this going to play out? Is the mummy going to attack? Dad's, is the kid going to see the mummy again? And he's going to come out of the closet. And then once Dad leaves, we see the bandage fluttering in the window as it. Okay.
Why was the mummy in the closet in the first place? That's
no
what I
shit.
Don't get.
Are they on the second floor or first floor?
It's irrelevant.
Is it? Where the fuck is the mummy going?
Because I'm thinking the same thing as John. Why the hell is there a mummy standing in the closet?
Yeah, and it was. Okay, it wasn't at this point. I had already asked myself this question, but I had to ask myself this question. What kind of movie does this want to be? What kind of movie are they trying to make?
The only way I could save it for myself was Dracula had told Frankenstein at one point, I don't know if it was before this or after this, to go find the journal, find the kids, and if you have to, kill the kids, whatever. So he may have sent out the different monsters, the mummy and all that, to go investigate these kids to see if any of them had the journals. The mummy went to the house, didn't find the journal, left the house.
Sure, that is plausible.
That's a not unreasonable angle of approach.
But the fact that Dad doesn't even look in the fucking closet, I mean,
yeah, but I'm with you. He's probably looked in the closet, 2 dozen times, always seeing the same thing.
What's one more time? Be a dad. It's not that hard. I can do it. And so they're at the clubhouse and they're talking about everything that they're putting together.
Why the hell, if it's bedtime like this, how did they all magically get together? They're all suddenly in the treehouse together. Night, Mom. Night, Dad. I'm going over to the clubhouse.
Yeah, I don't know.
You never snuck out as a kid?
Okay, but how do you make that arrangement happen?
Walkie-talkies.
So the Monster Squad, they hold this meeting, And Sean shares with the gang what he's put together so far. 2 missing bodies, and a guy claiming to be a werewolf. And you also have this Dracula reveal that he's got. And so my dad being a cop, knowing all this stuff, and this is how I learned all of it, it's got to mean something.
Right.
Is this, I think they kind of talk about, they pretty much figure out they have to get this book translated, so they have to go talk to the scary German guy.
Well, they don't want to, but Patrick, his sister, she's taking German, and maybe she could be the one to translate it for us. And it turns out she just happens to be next door where Rudy spots her.
We also have the scene where we have, what's her name, Phoebe?
The little girl?
The little girl who's happens to be off on her own, sitting by a river, and in comes Frankenstein.
Did you notice that shot?
That was from the original Frankenstein movie. And,
Yes,
you
sir,
know,
it was.
that was the way it was originally supposed to go. It was supposed to be a tender, delicate scene. And they decided it wasn't scary enough in the original version. And that's why it turned into, you know, him accidentally drowning the girl. But it was supposed to be like that. It was supposed to be this tender scene.
Accidentally.
Yeah, Alan. He tosses her in, I think, to the river, but not trying to kill her.
So Sean, he forces a vote. So what do you say? Are we Monster Squad or what? And so they all take a vote, and they are all in. And then we cut to the creepy mansion house, and we see the hearse outside. And this is where Dracula instructs Frankenstein's monster to retrieve the diary.
Which, again, it kind of leads me to what kind of movie does this want to be? I mean, it gets pretty dark. You know what I mean? Kill the children. And there's some other shit in here that you're like, interesting.
That's why I kind of see this movie, and they talked about it in the documentary, that this is almost like a gateway movie. That, you know, a lot of kids were introduced to the idea of horror movies through this movie, in that, you know, you're seeing kind of both worlds, the comedic with the kids and the introduction of the horror aspect with the adults.
I think of this movie as one gigantic mixed message. And so, there's that.
Yeah, it is confusing on what movie it wants to be. I agree. So the next day we have Sean, Patrick, and Horace, and they go to the German guy's house, the scary German guy. And it's like, you go in. No, you go. No, you go ask him.
How do you say I'm not going to murder you in German? And then,
please don't murder me in German.
Yeah, at that moment, I'm thinking, oh, okay, he's cool.
Yeah,
he's not going to fucking kill him.
He's funning him.
Did you notice that they never give him a name throughout the movie? He was actually in the script as scary German guy.
Yeah. That's the only way I heard him being called. So yeah.
And so right after that happens, this is where we cut to Phoebe. She's sitting at the base of the treehouse, and as soon as I see that shot, I go, "Oh, this is where Frankenstein shows up," because this is straight from Frankenstein.
Right.
And so when Frankenstein shows up, and you know she looks up, it's like, okay, of course. So the scary German guy, he's feeding them pie and Pepsi, and he's translating the diary for them, and he tells them essentially, this is where we get the crux of the movie, that the amulet is good and it wards off evil, it's indestructible, but it can be shattered, and if that happens, then evil will rule the world. However, at every 100 years, it can be vulnerable, and it can perform a ceremony. You can perform a ceremony followed by the letter, which opens up a hole into limbo itself, and it swallows the forces of evil forever. Okay, this is what we saw at the beginning of the movie.
Right.
And it tells us, too, it has to be a virgin.
The squad learns the amulet is hidden beneath the creepy old house, now occupied by Dracula and his monsters. With courage and a lot of chaos, they break in, retrieve the amulet, and narrowly escape. Back with scary German guy, they discover a crucial catch. The spell to destroy the monsters must be read by a virgin. As tensions rise, Dracula retaliates, destroying the squad's clubhouse and pulling Sean's father, Detective Dale Crenshaw, into the conflict. With time running out and midnight approaching, the kids prepare for a final stand at a local cathedral. The kids recruit Patrick's older sister Lisa to read the incantation. But at the worst possible moment, it fails. She's not a virgin. Now surrounded, outnumbered, and out of options, the squad scrambles for a last-second solution.
So when the kids are partying the scary German guy's house, this is probably one of the better moments of the movie. That you have Horace, and he says, "Man, you sure know a lot about monsters." And he responds with, "Now that you mention it, I suppose I do." And he closes the door, and you see the tattoo on his forearm from the concentration camps. It's like, awesome.
When I saw the tattoo as well, I went, oh, that's a nice touch.
One of the things that I didn't catch, obviously, the first time I watched it, but I looked for it this time, is while he's serving the pie, if you look over at the mantle, he has a lot of Jewish things on the mantle.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's also revealed to us at this time that the 100-year mark is tomorrow night.
Which I had to go back and recall that, because I kept thinking they go to the house to get the amulet at night. Why didn't they do it during the day? But it's because they only had one night to do it.
Right. So they had to come up with a plan.
They summarize what they need to do, and then they go talk to Rudy. Rudy, you got to help us. Do you know any virgins?
That's where he spits out his drink.
Yep. And so we're back at the clubhouse, and Phoebe, she shows them Frankenstein's monster. He's my friend.
Yeah, and she wants to know that because she brought him, does she get to be in the club now?
She saves the day. So as far as I'm concerned, she is the monster
Well,
squad.
she was one of the best, I think, characters in the movie. She just had the cuteness and some of the funniest antics.
Yeah, no, I thought she did very well in the movie and was probably the strongest non-overacting protagonist we had.
Mm-hmm. One of the things they tried to do in this movie, especially for a lot of the action scenes and the interactions with the kids and the monsters, is they didn't prep the kids for being with these monsters. So most of their reactions, especially little Phoebe's, like her screams and everything, is because this is the first time she's seeing these monsters.
Mm.
We have Frankenstein's monster in the clubhouse, and I'm thinking, I wonder why Frankenstein's monster has a change of heart and befriends Phoebe and the kids. We don't see Dracula being overly cruel to the monster. He does bring him back to life, and maybe the monster didn't want to be brought back to life because he's going to equate it to torment and torture of his own life, and he has not seen kindness. And so, I don't know. I thought it was a bit of a stretch that, okay, that's all it took was, will you be my friend?
Well, she is pretty fucking cute. And I kind of look at it as you have the big bad in Dracula. And if you pit the kids against Dracula and Frankenstein's monster, those are some insurmountable odds. So we have to have balance for the kids. And I think that's why we have Frankenstein as a good guy.
He was Sloth from Goonies. Basically, he looks like this big, scary thing, but because of the kids accepting him and little Phoebe loving him right from the start, he decides to help them instead of hurting them. He doesn't want to hurt these kids, even though he's been ordered to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, very much a Sloth-type character. And Horace was the Chunk character, and Sean was the Mikey character.
Absolutely.
And Patrick was the Mouth character, for sure. And then you throw in little River Phoenix from Stand By Me, and you got the Monster Squad.
And it's a sweet shot of them walking off together, sort of in the sunset type of thing.
Yes.
And then meanwhile, back at the scary mansion, Dracula has located the amulet.
And here's where I have a little theory on this. I think Dracula wanted the kids to break in and get the amulet, because if you remember what they said about the amulet earlier is that it's a thing of concentrated good and it's protected from evil. And then when you looked in that room, it was surrounded by crosses and all kinds of other things. So he couldn't go in there and get the amulet, probably couldn't send the other monsters to go in there and get it because it was probably protected from them. So he needed the kids to go in there, take the amulet out, and then he could have the amulet.
I could see that.
Yeah, possibly.
I didn't think about that at the time, but yeah, I can see that.
Oh, I definitely noticed the crosses
So did
that
I.
were around it.
Yeah.
Which, keeps the vampires away.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that's why he hadn't gone in and gotten it already.
And he actually has the Wolfman taken hostage, and he's drugging him, not wanting him to turn into Wolfman quite yet. It's not quite time.
Well, I think he was drugging him because as he was a human, he would escape and go tell people what was going on. He was waiting for the Wolfman to turn back into the wolf so he could control him again.
Yeah, so it's not quite time for him to transform. And I like how he says, well, in the meantime, I'm going to have a snack.
I'm going to have a bite.
And then, again, a fucking very dark moment. He
The three
opens the
schoolgirls,
door. Yeah.
To the 3 young girls.
Yeah.
In schoolgirl outfits.
Pretty fucking dark.
Pretty fucking Dracula, though.
True that.
Dracula always has to have his brides.
But and I think maybe they make up for it because I didn't realize this at first, but they are his brides. I figured he just killed them, which makes it way worse, I guess, in my head.
Yeah, but they end up getting killed anyway.
Well, I know, dude, but not by Dracula.
No, by Rudy.
Yeah, I know. We all saw the movie, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So
you get a brief montage of the day passing during the day, and they're prepping for the big night.
Oh, I love montage scenes. Let's get ready to go get the bad guys.
Yeah.
This was their shift from becoming, just being regular kids in a clubhouse to being monster hunters.
Oh, I suppose. You have Rudy in shop class making bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah, where did he learn to make bullets?
I don't know. He was a greaser. I guess if any one of those kids could make bullets, it would have been him.
He stole the bow and arrows.
Yep.
Right? And he's making steaks.
Yep.
It's like, man, okay.
He's gearing up.
He's the real monster hunter in this movie.
Yeah, he's really getting geared up.
So then you get the little bit where they're talking to Patrick's sister, and they're trying to figure out how do you ask if you're a virgin or not. Kind of amusing.
Well, not only that, but they finally blurt out, how did Rudy put it?
Have you ever been dorked?
You ever been dorked?
Yeah.
And she's like all pissed off. And then he pulls out the picture that Frankenstein took.
Yeah.
And right there, this movie turned into blackmail. I mean,
Yeah.
it turned into there goes the innocence in this movie.
Dude, this innocence was gone way before this moment.
But not for the kids being innocent.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
You think so?
Yes, absolutely.
This is the bit, and we're back in the mansion, and we have the 3 young girls reveal. But the werewolf guy, he happens to break free.
He spits out the pills that Dracula was giving him, and he's going to go and try and warn the police.
Yeah, and he just happens to blurt out, Dracula's going to kill your kid.
As he's making this transformation, and this transformation really bothered me too. It didn't look that great. But that's just me.
They were just trying to, I think, do it real quick so we didn't have those overextended scenes of him turning into a wolf and all that.
It didn't work, no matter what they were.
I remember when a kid,
whatever they were doing,
bugging me all the saliva and spit that comes out of him.
Huh? Interesting.
So, he wants to be a good guy, and he doesn't like being a werewolf. But when he's a werewolf, he's all too happy to be evil for the sake of being evil, I guess.
Well, he's controlled by Dracula. But yeah, the Wolfman, it's kind of the way the Wolfmans have been, I think, in all the movies. They're all just vicious killers that, after they turn into the wolf.
Because it's animal instinct. They can't control their carnal urges.
Except for Werewolf by Night with Marvel.
Oh, there he goes.
And Dracula. Apparently Dracula knows how to keep werewolf in line.
Well, he's got the glimmer thing where he can look at you and make you do whatever he wants. I mean, if they're following lore.
Mm-hmm.
So the kids, they're getting set up and they're coordinating what they want their plan to look like. And this is the bit where you have, they're by the waterfront, and Eugene and the dog are down there by the water, and the Twinkie goes into the water.
And out pops the Gill Man.
And, yet again, we get a reveal of a monster, Rawr! But we don't see anything really bad happen.
No, and how old is Eugene?
I don't know, maybe 9 years old.
Doesn't he seem younger than the rest of the Monster
I got
Squad?
that impression he was maybe a little bit younger.
I think it would have made more sense if he was a little brother of one of the guys. But
yeah,
why
totally.
is he hanging out with these guys?
I don't know.
All right, I'm just checking.
I did like his line, Twinkie stole or Gilman stole my Twinkie.
Yeah, creature stole my Twinkie. And okay, so he shows up, "Rah!" and that's it. He's done, and he's able to go, hey, guys,
Yeah.
guys, what happened to the creature?
Did you catch during
The
the
writing,
montage how Eugene wrote a letter in crayon to the army guys and sent it
Yes.
off with his dog?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And for some reason, that was taken at street cred value.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a little piece of comedy. It paid off a little bit at the end.
It just solidified for me that these guys had no idea what kind of movie they wanted to make.
Well, they said earlier, it was supposed to be like a Little Rascals type movie. So yeah, it comic acts, things you just have to kind of accept in this plot, I guess.
Or not.
Yeah.
So now we have the gang and Frankenstein's monster. They are at the mansion, and they're going to go in. And, Frankenstein monster, he says that, he tells the kids, Dracula is near, and, he wants you guys dead. And you could tell that Frankenstein's monster doesn't want this.
Right. And so Horace and Sean make their way through the house.
Well, they basically say, I think, along the lines of, we've got Frankenstein with us, so he'll protect us, But when they first get in the house and Dracula lights off the dynamite.
Yeah, so you have Dracula and he has dynamite. Why is Dracula working with dynamite? And then he has the box, and we hear Frankenstein's monster creak the floor above Dracula's head. He looks up, and then the detonator, the plunger slowly slides down. Oh, oopsies! And then sets off the explosion that collapses the wall on top of the monster. Yeah,
but the explosion happened downstairs.
Yes.
So it thank you. It shook the whole house, but it just so happened that it was just the entryway that was that structurally insecure.
Yep.
Okay.
Plot convenience.
Here we go. Right. And so they think that Frankenstein's monster's dead, and we get kind of an impassionate speech by our hero. If he died for us.
I knew he was going to have to come back.
Of course he was, right? And at the final moment, right?
Yep.
Or one of the final moments. But in the meantime,
Wolfman shows up,
and we get the kicking of the nard scene, which is funny. When I was watching it captions, it was nuts.
Is that what it said?
Yeah, and then I was like, no, it's nards. It's always been nards, right? So I had to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's nards.
Oh yeah.
So,
so the gang, they are in a tight spot. They got the Wolfman, they got the three brides, they got Dracula. What are they going to do?
And so they get cornered, and this was actually kind of a cool shot, right? You look left, there's a monster. You look straight, there's a monster. You look right, there's a monster. And then they use the arm gag of the statue, which we knew was going to come back
and they even pull it out. This is a Hardy Boy gag.
And they fall down. It's a trap door, and they fall down. I don't know how none of them break their legs, but okay, whatever. I'll go with it. So you have Chunk and Mikey on the ground, and they find the amulet. It's just sitting there.
Yeah, they see it, and it's just like, holy buckets.
That's where my theory comes in, that I thought the kids were the ones who had to take it.
Or someone other than Dracula.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you there, because it was surrounded by religious artifacts. Okay. And I'm not sure if those religious artifacts have any effect on Wolfman and Creature of the Black Lagoon, but Dracula for sure.
Yeah. And then, of course, here comes Dracula again, and they ward him off with a pizza.
Garlic, man.
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was actually one of the moments that you went, okay.
Yeah.
And wasn't it Chunk had the garlic?
Yes, Chunk had the garlic.
And in the meantime, we get a quick reveal that Rudy and Patrick, they're waiting for him at the restaurant. Okay, something's wrong. They're way overdue. And so we know that now they're going to be coming. And sure enough, the boys escape. Once they get past Dracula with the garlic, they got outside. All of a sudden, they're outside. That was the only challenge that they had leaving the mansion.
That was the only challenge, and they got pretty far outside because you don't see the mansion in the background. It cuts to them coming into a clearing from the forest. Yeah, they got through that easily. No brides, no Wolfman, no Gillman.
No mummy.
Nothing, right? And so they do now reunite with everybody
Phoebe shows up with the scary German guy.
because she went and got him because they need his help.
Well, they
How
needed
smart
the-
is Phoebe?
They needed the car.
Well, there's that too.
And then Rudy and Patrick and his sister, they show up too.
And it's so now we're set, right? We got the amulet, we got the book, and we got the virgin. We got to get somewhere to set this all in
And
motion.
they're like, hey, let's go to a church.
Why not, Rude?
Which-
That's logical thinking.
We can go to the one in the town square.
Yeah, well, there's got to be a lot of people.
Yeah, they wanted people around them.
Yeah.
So as they're leaving, this is where you have Dell and Sapir. Oh, shit. They're headed to the mansion while the kids are headed away from the mansion.
Because Dell's like, dude, I'm going out there. This guy threatened my kid. I got to find out what's going on. And they run into Dracula, literally, but Dracula turns the
Or intangible or something.
yeah, and they go right through him. And I kept thinking to myself, why does Dracula need to drive? He's a fucking bat, isn't he?
Because it was a cool looking hearse with a skull on the front.
I guess so, guys.
goes-
I guess so.
Goes faster,
Than flying, I suppose.
maybe. And then right after this, we are now back with the kids and the scary German guy. And who's in the middle of the road? It's the mummy! And he swerves. Why do you swerve? Why not just run him straight over? I don't know why he would swerve.
I don't know, buddy. But
Maybe it was
this-
a kid in a Halloween costume. I don't know. He didn't want to. He's not a
It's
killer.
but it's not Halloween.
Yeah.
But I do like the bit where Rudy takes the arrow, fires it into the fucking tree.
Well, he
and
ties
then because he ties the bandage and he unravels the mummy. I thought that was a nice effect.
I just liked
That was
when
fun.
it got to the point when it got taut and the look on the mummy's face when he realized it.
Yep. And then we see the mummy's skull. And now the mummy is out of the game.
Yeah, it's out of the picture.
And so Dracula shows up at Sean's house with some dynamite. And again, you're thinking,
Holy
why
shit.
Why the fuck does Dracula have dynamite?
How does he know where the treehouse is?
That's a good question. But
But
he
I guess-
blows it up.
But did you notice that mom was upstairs packing a suitcase?
Yeah, I did notice
She was about
that.
to leave
because
there?
when Dad gets home, he sees the suitcase as well. But
Dell and Sapir, they show up at the house right after the explosion. And all of a sudden, here's Dracula, and holy shit, he's got more dynamite. Dell tries firing a gun at him, of course, does nothing.
well, he blows his partner up first. He looks at the dynamite, it lights, he throws it under the car. That poor guy. He just gets blown up.
Well, here's my thing too, because then the wife comes running out of the house, all freaked out from what just happened in the front yard, but yet she wasn't freaked out by the treehouse blowing up in the backyard.
Nope, she wasn't. And why the fuck does it take so long for Dell to even shoot him once?
I don't know.
I'm unload. Even if it's not doing anything, at least you know right away. He's holding them at gunpoint like he wants to take them in. Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
Doesn't
You have the
do it-
right to remain silent.
Doesn't do any of that.
Yeah,
It's still probably in a little bit of denial, thinking that this isn't really a monster,
sure, bud. Sure.
would be my guess. He's still a cop, first and foremost.
I was wondering throughout the whole movie how Dracula's clothes always stay so immaculately clean.
Because he turns intangible and the dirt falls off.
That's right.
I
don't
got a
know.
better question for you later coming up in the third act here.
Do you? So now we back to the gang. They arrive at the town square and shoot. The church is locked.
I love how Rudy kicks the doors and they're like, don't kick the holy place.
Yeah. And then our hero's like, we're going to have to do it right here. And then we see the three brides starting to walk down the street.
Looking very three brighty.
And this is Rudy's moment to shine.
He's not even scared. He's like, I'll handle this.
I love how he still has a cigarette in his mouth, too.
Mhm.
Fucking stud.
Yeah, he came across as a little hellboyish.
Yeah. A little junior higher. I had already been drinking beer in the treehouse with Mouth and his sister.
So he manages to take out two of the brides, and then we have Dell. He shows up, and oh boy, here comes Dracula as a bat, and he manages to shoot Dracula. And I guess Dracula is vulnerable when he's a bat.
I guess.
Well,
Because he wasn't being shot with silver bullets. He was just being shot with normal bullets.
I just figured that he's smaller, so the bullets, have more of an impact.
Oh, sure. But either way, Dracula gets shot and goes through a window. And so now Dell goes up there to
Investigate.
Right. And this is where we see Dracula half.
Transformed.
And you're like, uh-oh, what the fuck? And then the Wolfman comes in. And of course,
He stops
Sean-
Dad.
Yep, Sean saves his dad.
I was kind of thinking at this moment, what if the Wolfman had bit the dad, and now the dad's going to be a Wolfman down the road?
See, that's what I was waiting for as well. Because I'm thinking, isn't Dad going to be a werewolf now because of the wounds that he sustained?
I think he has to bite him.
No,
I think scratches don't do it.
I'm agreeing with you there. And also, he's holding a stick of fucking dynamite, lit dynamite. So, what are you going to fucking do, right?
But is this where Sean comes in?
Yep.
And
Puts
or hits the Wolfman, drops the dynamite, puts it in his pants, and shoves him out the window. I thought that was a kind of a cool effect. As he's going out of the window, he blows up. Now, there's no blood, mind you. It just kind of looks like a poof of smoke. And I thought to myself, oh, that's the second way they're going to kill him, because when they're in the treehouse, Horace says, blow him up. But no, it's not.
And I'm thinking, bullshit.
But
Yeah,
here's
kind
the
of.
big thing. When Wolfman comes back together, which was an interesting effect of him, just all the pieces and the guts and everything come back together. How does his clothes come back together?
They stitch together. What happens is the clothes are possessed with the Wolfman's virus. So when it touches, it heals itself like Wolverine.
Then why did it get ripped in the first place?
Because he's too muscular, like the Hulk.
Oh, okay.
So yes, the Wolfman literally pulls himself together.
Nice, buddy.
The police show up, and apparently things are going to get a little more corralled, because with all the police here, that this should turn the tide a little bit.
And then in the meantime, they're trying to read the incantation, and we come to find out that Lisa, in fact, is not a virgin.
Yeah, where is it? Where's the little limbo? Wait, you're not a virgin?
And she shakes her head, poor thing.
No. Okay, but Steve doesn't count.
What do you mean it doesn't count? I'm shocked that this kid knows more about it than his sister does.
In the meantime, we have the Wolfman. He's showing up, and he and Dracula, they are taking down police officers. And Rudy, he grabs one of the officers' revolvers, empties out the gun, gets one of his silver bullets. Aha! Yes. Okay. Strike number 2. Mummy, gone. Now Wolfman, gone. Silver bullet.
I like how the Wolfman character looks up to him and goes, "Thank you."
How did he transform back so quickly?
That's usually in the Wolfman movies. Every time a Wolfman gets killed, before he dies, he turns him back into human.
Yeah, okay, but he shoots him, and then we look at him, and what is that, 5-second transformation?
Oh, it's quicker than that.
2-second transformation? It was pretty darn fast.
Yeah.
As the monsters close in, the squad realizes the truth. Phoebe is the only one who can complete the spell. While scary German guy helps Phoebe read the incantation, the squad and Detective Crenshaw fight off Dracula's forces. One by one, the monsters fall. The Wolfman is blown apart, the mummy is unraveled, and the Gill Man is taken down. Dracula himself storms in to destroy the amulet, but Frankenstein's monster turns on him, defending the kids. In the chaos, Phoebe completes the spell, opening a swirling portal to Limbo. The remaining monsters are pulled in. Dracula makes one last attempt, grabbing Sean as he's dragged toward the portal, but Sean stakes him, and Patrick saves his friend at the last second. Van Helsing himself appears briefly to pull Dracula into the void. As the void begins to close, Frankenstein's monster is also pulled in. Phoebe tries to hold on to him, but he gently lets go, knowing he doesn't belong in their world. She gives him her stuffed animal as he disappears. the portal seals, evil is defeated. Moments later, the U.S. Army arrives, summoned earlier by Eugene. As confused soldiers try to piece together what happened, Sean confidently steps forward and hands over a business card. We're the Monster Squad. Roll credits. And so we're knee deep in this final third act, and like Professor, you were saying, Mummy's gone, Wolfman's gone, and now
we have Gilman going after Horace.
And
this scene for me, I think, anytime I think about Monster Squad, this is always the scene that comes to mind.
It's not Wolfman's got nards?
No, it is the scene where, Horace tries to get into the diner or whatever it is, and EJ won't let him in. So he shoots him with the rifle, and they come out and say, "Nice job, fat kid." And he's like, "The name is Horace," and he cocks the rifle.
Yeah, mixed message, guys. Why are we putting a shotgun in a 12-year-old's hands?
Because he's a badass. But Gilman really doesn't have much of a part, and he dies pretty quick and easy.
He dies like a bitch.
Yeah. I didn't like that scene. I don't think you should be putting a shotgun in a 12-year-old's hands. There could have been a plethora of different ways for the kids to come up with some ingenuity and defeat these creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's all I'm saying. Even Rudy with the silver bullet. You don't fucking need it. But it is what it is.
It may, in your mind, may not have been expressed right, but this was supposed to be Horace kind of finding himself and finding his courage. Because earlier on in the movie, when EJ and the bullies are picking on him, you notice how weak his voice was and how scared and timid he was. And here, now he's no longer that old character. He's gone from being the fat kid to now he is Horace, who can stand up for himself.
But now the Gilman is taken out of the picture.
Cut back to scary German guy, and wait, Patrick, he points to Phoebe. Is she a virgin? Phoebe can read.
I like how he says, "Is she a virgin?"
Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, that they should have done that in the first place.
Yeah.
Instead of wasting all this time.
Okay, but I submit one other possibility as well, that it doesn't have to be Phoebe. I submit to you that it could be Sean, Horace, Patrick.
Does it say virgin female?
It never says female.
The way it was in the Universal monster movies is it was always had to be a maiden. It had to be a untouched maiden. So that's what I assume it was in this movie as well. They never specifically say it, but that's why, like in the beginning of the movie, you notice it was a young girl as well.
Yes. And John does like to assume.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he does.
But
because
that makes an ass out of him and you. And so, yeah, Phoebe starts to read the incantation, but then Dracula appears, and it's one of those moments where she's trying to read it. Old German guy is helping her, but then he goes to make a stand. Did Dracula use the Force? Does he have lightning powers? What was that?
I don't know.
he's got his little abilities, so yeah.
Okay.
But he knocks the German guy out of the way, and he picks up little Phoebe by the neck and lifts her up, calls her a bitch. Her scream, again, like I kind of said earlier, was a natural reaction to when he bared his fangs and hissed at her. She didn't know that was coming. The actor who played it purposely tried not to be around her throughout the whole thing because he didn't want to scare her. In fact, in many of the scenes, he wouldn't wear the fangs because he didn't want her to see the fangs. But in this scene, they wanted her reaction. The first time she screamed on camera, she lost her voice. She screamed so hard. And so they had to do it the second take, and that's the one they went with.
Yeah. Yeah. And as she's screaming, there's a hand on the back of Dracula's neck. And
Shocker.
you're like, oh, cool, right?
Frankenstein's still in the game.
Yeah, Frankenstein's a good guy.
Of course he is.
I like that kind of
And did
bit,
you like
right?
he brings up the line that I guess the kids and everyone had said earlier, and even Frankenstein had said a few times, bogus.
Oh, is that what they were trying to say?
Yeah, he basically says to Frankenstein, bogus.
Oh, okay. And he takes Dracula and throws him on the iron fence, and it spears him.
He's impaled.
And
the portal opens once again.
Because
I like how
gets the thing out.
And I like how crazy old German guy takes it and throws it, and then it appears.
Right.
And then the rest of the wheels fell off for me. These effects were just atrocious.
You know, the little portal that opens up remind me so much of the same one from Evil Dead 2. It just looked so fakey and kind of cartoonish.
But I think it looked better in Evil Dead 2.
You think so? I think it almost looked like the exact same effect to me.
They might have. And it wouldn't surprise me because it was on the same Universal lot that Desperate Housewives was filmed on.
Mm-hmm.
And the house across the street from Sean's house, anybody? The Murtaugh's house.
Mm.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is the second time this has happened with us because Christmas Vacation was the other one.
The thing that did bother me with this scene is in the beginning of the movie, we see at least 2 people get sucked into the portal. Yet here, nobody, is really getting pulled in as much. Now, maybe they got far enough away from the portal.
I thought I saw one of the downed officers go tumbling in.
Did they get flown in?
So let me get this straight. The portal to limbo can suck in inanimate objects at plenty. All the fences, the truck, the signs, that can all go in. But if you're human, it's not supposed to suck you in, or it is?
Well, it sucked into humans in the beginning of the movie.
But if you're a monster, it's definitely sucking you in, right?
It really, I guess, wants the evil people.
So really, all it's really trying to suck in is...
Evil? So the car is evil, the fences are evil?
That's what I'm asking.
Well, here's the thing. When it came to the portal, it really wanted to suck off the monsters.
I think you might be right. And the problem is there's only 2 monsters left to get sucked off.
Yeah. And so
Dracula.
Who did he get himself off the stake or did he get pulled off the stake by the portal?
Oh, good question. I think he got himself off the stake.
Because it was a pretty powerful sucking.
Yeah, it was. And
so maybe that did get him off.
Maybe you and this is where the wheels fall off the podcast. And so it's the final bit, and Dracula's he attacks Sean,
right,
and his dad, and the portal is sucking them in, and Sean and him are fighting because why not? Why not have this 12-year-old kill Dracula?
Yeah, he gets to stake him in the heart.
Stake him in the heart. Classic way to get rid of Dracula.
And then out of the blue, like I mentioned earlier, we never saw Van Helsing get sucked into limbo, but now he comes apparently out of limbo. When everybody's getting sucked in, he's able to come out of limbo, not only grab Dracula, but then just happen to give Sean the thumbs up.
Are you fucking kidding me with that thumbs up right now?
That where it really went off the rails to me. That was a little hokey.
That was the point?
That was the point for me.
Okay. I did not like that bit either. And then now it's time for Frankenstein, right? Frankenstein's got to go.
He's got to go.
But it's a little bit tender.
It felt very E.T. to me. Like the little girl doesn't want E.T. to leave.
Yeah, a little bit. And I do like how she throws him her
Scraps.
teddy bear.
It's a little dog. It's Scraps.
And
he looks happy to get it.
And he goes into the void. No questions asked.
Mm-hmm.
The void closes. The day is saved. And as per usual,
the cavalry shows up
a wee bit too late. However, they show up because they got fucking Eugene's letter.
And they brought a tank with them.
I know.
They took that note at face value.
Yes, they did. And I'm pretty sure a lot of those words weren't spelt correctly. So there you have it. And, it has to end with
who are you?
I'm Batman moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the Monster Squad.
And he hands them the business cards they had printed out at like Kinko's or something earlier.
Yep. And that was the Monster Squad.
Did you like how Rudy put his arm around the sister?
Did you notice her expression?
She was like this disdain.
No, she wasn't. She was kind of getting into it.
Oh, I thought she just kind of rolled her eyes.
No, she gave a little bit of a smile.
Oh.
Rudy might be... You know what? Why do you make us go there?
So do you guys have a favorite character or a favorite antagonist?
I kind of liked Frankenstein's monster. I thought he was kind of a heartwarming character.
My favorite character was the dad.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That
Burger King on the roof with the kid, he listened to him, right? He didn't care that he believed in monsters or this was coming, this, that, and the other was coming. When he goes missing, he's like, where are you? And he goes, I'm at the church. Hurry up. And there was no question. He was there for his kid. I like the fucking dad.
Cool.
How about you, Professor?
I enjoyed the whole Frankenstein's monster and Phoebe.
Yeah. Phoebe was
tender.
a fun character.
Yeah, for sure. She was in the wrong movie, but she was a fun character.
She saved the day between her and Frankenstein.
Quite literally. All right, what do you guys think? You guys ready to rate this flick?
I'm ready to rate this flick. How about you, John? Are you ready to rate this flick?
Does the Wolfman have nards?
Hey, Professor, how do we do our ratings?
We do our ratings on a scale of 1 to 5 fucks. 5 fucks is a movie that we think is cinematic gold. A 1 fuck movie is where you get done watching it and you're thinking, I'm never watching that again.
And what's a 0?
A 0 fuck movie, you get done watching it, you turn to your buddy, and you're like, oh, for shit's sake, what the hell? Why would you make me watch? I want 1 hour and 22 minutes of my life back.
Or in other words, we just don't give a fuck. All right, who would like to go first?
This was nobody's movie.
I don't know whose movie was this.
It was kind of, I think I insisted on it.
Okay, then you go first, bud.
I'll go first.
All right.
But before I do, Don,
Yes, sir.
would you like to guess my rating?
You're going to give the Monster Squad 2.5 fucks.
Final answer?
2.25 fucks.
Final answer?
2 fucks.
Final answer.
Final answer.
Okay. If you ever wondered what happens when you take Goonies and crash it headfirst into Ghostbusters, you get the Monster Squad, a scrappy, weird, and quotable cult classic. The movie lives on one-liners and ragtag kid energy. It's the kind of film that sticks with you if you grew up renting it from Blockbuster and quoting it with your friends. Back then, it felt relatable, funny, and just cool. Watching it now, though, yeah, the cracks show big time. How did Rudy suddenly become an expert at making bullets? Why did the Wolfman's clothes magically fix themselves after getting blown up? And how did Dracula know everything about the kids, their names, house, and even about the treehouse? And seriously, why were there fucking armadillos in the castle in the beginning of the movie? This movie relies heavily on plot convenience. Easy to ignore as kids, but much harder to ignore as adults. The execution, it wasn't always there. For kids discovering classic monsters, it's a fun ride, but as adults, unless you're running purely on nostalgia, it's hard not to notice the holes. I wanted to love it like I used to, but maybe that time has passed. It's for those reasons I'm giving the Monster Squad 2 out of 5 fucks.
Bam, nailed it. You or me there, guy?
Monsters. Very dangerous. You go first.
Thanks, pal. Monster Squad, I think, was a movie that didn't really know what it wanted to be. I think that the acting and the writing weren't very good. I think that the practicals on this film were either hit or miss. I think it sends a weird message to kids. Even in 87, it sends weird messages. But, you know, maybe that's just me. Story-wise, it's kind of hard to follow. The characters, to me, felt just like discount Goonies. And if I want a more fun time with a group of kids, I'll go watch the fucking Goonies. So, you know, I'm not a huge fan of this film, and there are masses of people that love this film, and to that I say good for you. And, you know, everyone has opinions and all that kind of good stuff. But for me, I'm giving the Monster Squad 2 fucks.
Monster Squad is a movie that I have not seen before, and it certainly is going to work against itself when I score it, when I rate it, because I'm watching it as a grown-ass adult. And the inconsistencies that we talked about throughout the movie, the plot holes, the writing, and the lack of direction that this movie has, that it seems unsure on what it wants itself to be. Sometimes it's a little bit of a horror movie. Sometimes it's a little bit of a comedy. Sometimes it's a little bit of an adventure. But it just, I feel it falls flat. And I didn't find any of the characters to be particularly memorable. And I'm thinking that the two-dimensionalness, if you will, of the antagonists of the movie, they didn't come across as menacing in any way. As I stated at the beginning, it felt like a Goosebumps movie. It's for a younger crowd that are in their teens. And certainly I'm way past that. I have zero nostalgia for this movie, which, like I said, is going to work against it because I'm just looking at it based on what I got in this viewing of it for the first time. And unfortunately, sometimes movies are going to happen that way, that we as the three guys watch, if we see it for the first time and it's not a part of who makes us who we are when it comes to movies and the lore of things, it's going to be a little bittersweet, or it's going to be kind of crestfallen for those listeners that enjoy, it's such a great movie though. And I'm so happy that, you have movies like that, because all three of us, we certainly have movies just like that where it still holds strong and true. But if you look at it in the optics of today, it just doesn't work as much. So please do not feel hurt or offended if we don't rate the movie so highly. It has nothing to do with you. Continue to love this movie if you love it. For me, I'm giving this movie 1.5 fucks.
1.5 fucks from the professor. With 1.5 fucks from the professor, 2 fucks from the comic book guy, and myself, that gives the Monster Squad an average of 1.8 fucks, which now puts it in the 35th spot with the Friday the 13th remake, Cape Fear, Evil Dead 2, and A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. It is slightly better than Blazing Saddles, Moulin Rouge, and Idiocracy. What is it?
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy. And it is slightly worse than Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and John's number 1 movie ever, Say Anything. So there you have it, boys.
It feels a little, I feel a little hurt, when John talks about this being such a cult classic, and to hear that the company of movies that it sits around in our pantheon of movies, it's just like, sorry guys.
I mean,
and besides, it's just our opinion.
That's right.
Don't take our opinion.
Well, I mean, if you want to be right about things, you'll take my opinion, but you don't have to be. All right, that is going to wrap it up for this episode of Three Guys in a Flick. If you would like to know which movie we're going to be reviewing next, please check out the website. Speaking of which, hey, John, where can they find us?
They can find us at Three Guys in a Flick, where we go ahead and post our show notes. You can also find on there all of our podcasts and a web form that you can submit a movie you would like us to review. You can also find us at all of social media, where on Tuesdays, I've been posting on Facebook and X what movie we will be releasing that following Thursday. And you can find us at any place that hosts podcasts. In fact, while you're listening to us, make sure to subscribe, leave us a comment, and we would love it if you'd leave us a 5 rating, so that way we can help get the word out about the show. And in the comments, if you'd like, you can also leave a movie you'd like us to review.
Speaking of comments, do we have one this week, sir?
I actually have 2 comments. They were left for the movie Goonies. The first one is from Bailey C., who said, "Love the breakdowns, guys. Favorite movie podcast on Spotify. I hope you guys will eventually do The Substance with Demi Moore. It's fantastic. Body horror flick, and Demi Moore is still smoking hot." I gotta agree with her. I like a Demi Moore. The second comment is from Pease, and he says, "Being born in 99, this movie still defined my childhood and is the definition of what a kid's movie should be. So awesome to hear it reviewed on the Three Guys."
Thank you, Bailey and Pease, and consider The Substance in the Broncos helmet. I also want to thank Brett P. for throwing the Monster Squad into the Broncos helmet. We had a lot of fun watching it and reviewing it. We hope you have a lot of fun listening to it, and I hope you don't hate us for it. But if you do, let us know. give us a comment. I also want to thank anyone who listens and who has suggested a movie. If you keep listening, we'll keep recording. For Three Guys in a Flick, I'm Don.
I'm John.
And I'm Ken. Thanks for listening.
Oh, man. Fat kid farted.
Three guys with some mics, yeah, dive into the flicks. We're here for the real talk, no time for the tricks. Don is the captain, steering us right. Kid drops, now is shedding light. John with the comics, bringing the hype. From the good, the bad, to the absurd, we break it down, make sure you heard. Passion for the screen, we ride or die about movies. You know, we always give a fuck, no lie.
That would have been a fucking awesome. Was Sean Astin there? Why would he have been? He wasn't in
No.
Stand By Me.
And neither was River Phoenix.
Wow.
I guess he had other stuff he had to do.
Wow, and you're piling it on.
In the movie, I thought Horace said it more in astonishment as opposed to...
Fat kid. Get his name right.
Fat shaming.
Did you see any of the RoboCops outside of one there, Professor?
Yeah, I'm confident that I saw all three. I can easily remember one of the plot lines for either the second or the third one.
Did it involve sniffing cocaine off of a set of boobies?
No, but the drug dealer was a teenage kid.
Oh. As most drug dealers are. Well, that's not very nice.
I asked AI, how did the clothes come back together? And it said it had to because nobody wants to see a wolf dong.
Oh, thanks, AI. I'm so glad you're so intelligent.
I'd rather give my review than get sucked off by a big, gaping, dark hole over there. Yeah, I'm looking at you.
All right, what do you got? I only got one, and I think it's
I got a few.
brilliant.
Professor?
The Monster's Bod.
Oh, Monsters Bod. That's not bad.
I had the monster dongs.
Okay.
I had the monster squirts.
Ah, you motherfucker. That was mine.
Was that yours?
Yep. The monster squirts.
Do you have any other, Professor?
Nope.
I had the Mammary Squad. I had the Moaner Squad.
I got one more.
Fire away.
The Mother's Squad.
Calm down. Fucking winner right there. The Mother Squad. 4.5 from me. What do you got?
I'm going to say it's definitely 4.
I'm going to go... I could dig a good MILF film, so I'm going to go 4.5.
4.5. All right. I love it. Well done, boys. Well done.
And may all your days and nights be filled with happiness. All right, fuck off. Good night.
Catch the vibe, as three guys in a flick, keep the passion alive. Fuck that night.